Dear friends, welcome back. Because some guys wanted me to do this mission again on the Vulnhub Doli, the link will be added into the description section below. This mission is a bit hard, and which will involve a variety of different techniques. And I think such techniques are very useful and important for any pen tester. However, there is one thing I don't like very much. And when we get there, I will point it out at this point. So without further ado, let's just get started. We can switch over to the Kali Linux VM to start our journey of pen testing. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. So as you can see over here, the IP address of the target could be identified as 157. So what we are going to do next, we need to do the port and service scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So for now, we just cut out its result. So as you can see over here, I used the options like scene scan, version scan, the default script scan, and followed by the -p to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. So from the map scanning, we can tell that the target has only two port numbers. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service and also the version information. Although this version is not a very new one, I don't think we can find any vulnerability except the username immersion vulnerability. The next one is 80, which is running HTTP service and also the version information injects. So what are we going to do next? We need to do the immersion with this HTTP service, both manually and automatically. Let's fire up our browser to do the manual immersion first. And we can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. So this is the default. I think you can notice this strange thing here. Just now, the map told us this web application is running the service of the injects. However, the page what we got from the target is default Apache 2 page. Yeah, very weird, right? Anyway, now we can check its source code. So maybe, we need to, afterwards, we need to see this or look into this weird thing, okay? But now we can check its source code. Nothing here. And also we need to check whether this side has robots file. Not found. And the next we can use the Nicto to do the automatic immersion. As you can see over here, Nicto can enumerate some like the banner information or version information, the header information, and also some common files or directories. But I don't think we can find anything important from Nicto. So next, we can launch GoBuster to do the directory enumeration. GoBuster with command or subcommand dir, which stands for directory. And we can put the URL or IP address of the target. Press enter. All right, now I'd like to come straight to the point I mentioned at the very beginning. The the part I didn't like very much for this machine is we need to know the domain name or host name in advance. Otherwise, we cannot do anything. And such information should be given by the author explicitly. Okay, because such information, I think, if no hint, we cannot get such information at all. So, just as said, we need to append or add the host name or domain name into the host file. We can put the IP address of the target and the Doli, and the host name or domain name is Doli THM. I think this machine is from the Chahagami, maybe. And anyway, we can press enter. It's done. So next we can access this domain name rather than IP address to see whether we can get anything different. My bad. Doli THM. However, we get the same page back from the target because we have already got the main domain name. I think it makes sense, right? We can, fuzzing. We can make fuzzing to the fuzzing the subdomains. And how to do? To fuzz out the subdomain, I always use this one, the wfuzz2 with option of -C to color the output. And I'd like to autocomplete this command. Of course, you can use dedicated subdomain word list, but I just want to use the UU because this one is bigger word list. So for now, we can press enter. Okay. So a lot of output. So we need to put the filter, the word number. Press enter. So as you can see over here, I use the uppercase H option to specify the header. Actually, the wfuzz2 can, make a fuzzy against different fields of the header. Okay. But here we want to get or retrieve the subdomain of this target machine. Okay, I think we have already retrieved the this one. I think this is not what we want, the ERP, because the word length is this one. So ERP, the subdomain. So we can put this subdomain to the host file as well. ERP, and let's press enter. So next, we can take a look at this subdomain ERP. However, we got the error forbidden. And next, we need to make a deeper directory enumeration. We can launch GoBuster, ERP. Press enter. So a lot of directories and files. And we need to take a look at one by one, like contact. So the contact, forbidden. And I think this one, security. Maybe we can use the command line. I need to make the font bigger so you can see what's going on exactly. So then we can queue, we can auto complete. So we got this file back, no policy, preferred languages. So this should be possible username, right? We can copy possible username. So next, no policy, nothing interesting. And the next, user admin. We can take a look at this admin. So forbidden. So many of them are forbidden. The robots. How about robots file? We can use the command line. Robots. So we got this default page index.php. So next, I'd like to take a look at which one. And okay, this one, we can take a look at this one. We got this. This is a deadly project, and we can try to use admin, and login. Not successful. So of course, this would be very difficult to, make brute forcing because of this feature, And also we can check its source code. So the authentication mode, admin, the session cookie number or cookie name, nothing important. So how to do? The Doli EIP, this subdomain is the EIP. So maybe the Doli is some sort of the CMS we can use, such as Sprite and Doli. Actually, as you can see, this is the some sort of the ERP and the CRM, and there are a lot of exploits. Of course, at this point, we didn't have its version, right? But I'd like to take you to try this one. We can copy. And we can get out this exploit. So actually, this is unauthenticated remote code evaluation in this version. And the parameter name is this one, post. So this should be the payload of the attack. First of all, we need to go to the refresh install page, but at this moment, we didn't get this install page. Oh, hold on. Just now during the directory enumeration, we found this directory, the install, right? So which one? Install, okay? Let's access this directory, install. However, we get the same error, forbidden. So now I think we can make deeper directory enumeration with this directory, install Doli, THM. install. So step 1, maybe we can go to this step 1, the server. Here we cannot find, or we didn't find the fresh install page. So how about this one, blind? We can copy and put it in here. If you scroll down, you can see this link at the bottom, fresh install. I think this is what we want. So next we can follow the instruction. I'd like to interrupt the GoBuster instruction of this exploit. We need to go to the fresh install page and click next, and then we need to use this database name, and we need to, for example, we can use BurpSuite to change the database name to this one. This is the web shell, okay? And because now we didn't have the credentials for the database which is running on the target. So, however, as you can see, we need to have the password for the such database. So to exploit this vulnerability, we need to set up the database locally on the Kali Linux. And I'd like to point out one thing. By default, the Kali Linux, although Kali Linux has a MySQL service, and you can start up, however, by default, the database is only accessible locally by the root user. And we need to, we need to modify the configuration. Actually, to do that, we need to allow remote root access for the database which is running on the Kali Linux. Basically, you need to do two things. The one, we need to change the configuration file. For example, in my case, we can use sudo vim mysql, and I think it should be Maria, and this one server. And by default here, the bind address should be localhost 127.0.0.1, and you need to change to 4 zeros, okay? And this is the first thing you need to do to allow remote access. And then you need to log into the MySQL database with root privilege, and then you need to grant the remote access to the root user, and then we can proceed, okay? Otherwise, this penetration will stop here, okay? So I've already done that, all these 2 steps already. If you have a problem with this one, please let me know in the comment below. So for now, we can proceed. We can start and make sure we need to turn the proxy to BurpSuite, and then we can launch our BurpSuite. Of course, make sure the MySQL service. Make sure your Kali Linux, make sure that your MySQL database instance is running, and also allow remote root access. To confirm this, you can run MySQL with the root user, and we can use the H option to specify the IP address of the Kali Linux, and we can provide the password of root user. If we can log in, and it means that this database of MySQL has already made proper configuration to allow remote root access. Okay, so now we can go ahead, and now we can make sure the intercept is on, and then here we need to do some configuration, and I think we can use any database name like test1, and make sure this field should be changed to Kali Linux, because at this moment we do not have access to the MySQL database which is running on the target. And click here, and also make sure you enable this option, and also the password, anything. And also here we need to provide the root username and password. Okay, and now we can click next, and here BurpSuite has intercepted the request. We need to manipulate this field, database name, and you can get this payload from here. We can copy from this point until this point. We can copy, and we can remove it, paste in here, proceed forward. I think it's done, no problem. Next, we can refresh or go to the blind, and we can, and now if you pass the parameter, for example, the CMD is parameter of our web shell, run the ID. As you can see, we successfully execute the command of ID. Next, we need to run the reverse shell command to get the foothold on the target. Before we do anything, we need to set up the listener first on the Kali Linux. Next, you can get the reverse shell command from the Pentesting monkey website. You can copy, and sorry about this, and we can paste in here. We need to do some modification. IP address of the Kali Linux and port number, and we can copy. We need to do the URL encoding. So the bash, okay, and then we can copy this reverse shell command, and now we can go to here, replace this ID command by our reverse shell command, and then we can press enter. It looks like it's working. Okay, great. I want to spawn the bash session. Next, we need to do some local immersion. Oh, what I'm doing, import pty module, pty spawn bash. Okay, now we can go to the home directory. The three normal users go to the first one, permission denied, permission denied. Okay, it's fine. So now we can go to the opt directory. We need to navigate between different locations. So the secrets, interesting secrets. However, permission denied. And also this one, view me. A very clear hint. Of course, we need to take a look at this picture, and then we need to transfer this picture to our Kali Linux. To transfer this file, we can use the netcat. We can set up another listener, and then we can use the cat view me internal to netcat. Press enter. Now we go back. So we have already received the data from the target. And this is a picture, right? And we can took a look at this one. Citrix. Interesting. Actually, this is, of course, I never encountered this before. Citrix, I know this is some sort of application. However, in this circumstance, sorry, my bad. This is some sort of the encoding, okay? And before do that, we need to do the more enumeration, local enumeration. Do you remember? Also, we need to check the kernel. A bit, a bit old. Maybe we can make, direct privilege escalation. So how to do? We can generate the payload with Msfvenom. Of course, maybe I can take another opportunity to, to make a direct privilege escalation. However, I think this way is not what the author expected. And actually, we need to at the beginning. I have already pointed out when we did the map scanning, we can know that the web application is running some inject service. However, when we access this page of the site, we got the default Apache 2 page. So I think we need to go to the the injects, to make more careful reviewing or check. And we can go to the var www directory. So this, how about this one? Not important. Actually, we need to go to the log directory, go to the injects, and we can, here there is one very weird directory name. I think this means backup, and we can cut out this. As you can see, a lot of output or entries, and if you walk through this output very carefully, you can get this log data. So as you can see over here, this one. Of course, I think this should be encoded. We can copy, and then we can use this. We can, of course, I've already pasted here, and you can, first of all, this is the hex. We need to make the first layer of decoding, and then you use the base64 to decode, and then we can utilize the Citrix to decode. Finally, we can get the password. We can copy, and we can paste in here. And from the password pattern, we know that this password should belong to this user. Okay, so now we can open up another tab. So then we can log in to the target, and we can copy this password. It's working perfectly, right? So next, we need to do more enumeration, the nodes. So I love using a dictionary or multiple dictionaries of words in order to create my passwords. When I did the machine the first time, I tried to use Hydra to crack the password for this user, but I failed to retrieve the password. So next, what we are going to do next? Actually, now I'd like to, because just now we know that this kernel is a bit old or outdated. So maybe now next we can upload the payload, and then we can got the MetaSploit session. Okay, so how to do? And we can I've already created this payload earlier, so now we can launch the MetaSploit console. Then we can set up the handler use exploit multi-handler, and we can set the payload to this one when we created the payload just now. And then we can show options. We can set the local host to Kali Linux and set the local port number to be listened on. This port number should be the same as this one, 48. And then we can run it. Next, we need to upload this payload to the target. To do that, we can set up a web server by Python. So the payload, the name, and we need to make it executable to run it. And then we can run it. And then I think we can get a MetaSploit session. And then we can background this MetaSploit session by pressing keys Control and Z on the keyboard. And we can search the suggester. And we can use this module. This is the post exploitation module. In this case, we want this module to elevate a privilege. We can show options, set the session number to 1, and we can run it. Now this payload, which is running on the target, is collecting possible exploits. Afterwards, this post exploitation module will do some sort of a check. So we got the first module, and also the next one, the target appears to be vulnerable. When it's done, and then we can select appropriate module to elevate the privilege on the target. I think this one is what we want because this one is different from others. This one is about, almost for certain the target is vulnerable. And I think now we can copy, maybe not this one, copy this. All right, then we can use this module. Then we can show options. We can set the local host to our Kali Linux, set the local port number to like 999. And set the session number to 1, and we can run it to see whether we can elevate a privilege by this post exploitation module. And this module just now has identified one module which can get the most possibility to elevate the privilege. As you can see, MetaSploit session 2 opened, and this session should be owned by the root user. Okay, great, right? So now we can get UID, and we can get the command shell session. We can pty module spawn. and we can go to the root directory, and then we can get the root flag. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.